It took 24 hours to make $260,000 with this Instagram page. The owner of this account literally got invited on Shark Tank, yeah, the show, for how well she profited from this Instagram page. Again, $260,000 in 24 hours from a page that has just 270 posts and 188,000 followers. She made over $3 million in revenue in a single year since launching it. And by the way, all these stats are from November of 2023, so she very well might have already doubled that by now. You can go verify all of this on the actual Shark Tank episode, which I'll link below this video. But guys, if you are still sleeping on faceless Instagram pages, then I don't know what you're doing. There are several accounts using this exact same strategy that she's using to make millions. Today, I'm gonna reverse engineer this entire business model for you and show you how you can replicate this success for free. But first, we need to understand what she's selling and how she's doing it. If we come to her website, we can see that she's selling merch. These are t-shirts and hoodies, and they're nice because they spread positive messages about love and mental health. And I actually call this affirmation wear clothing. You might have noticed that people are wearing clothes like this a lot more often over the last few years. Like Ariana Grande wears clothes like this, and many other celebrities that are wearing this kind of cute affirmation clothing lines. And they're doing it because it's trendy, and unlike all the Gucci, Balenciaga nonsense, this is clothing that actually kind of means something, which is cool. If we look at See the Way I See's website, they're really nice. In fact, I'm going to be showing you how you can create an entire clothing business line just like this one using a print-on-demand site called Gelato later in this video. But before we ever get into any of the products, you need to understand why she is making so much money from this business. The real reason why she's making so much money is the strategy that she's using to sell them completely organically on her Instagram page. So if we come to her page and we look at the beginning of her page, we can see that she essentially started by posting these simple, cute affirmations surrounding self-love and mental health. Simple stuff like this gets thousands of likes, and basically it just says things like, you're allowed to be anxious without a reason. And look at this, 4,000 people liked this post. And if we look at some of the other posts on her page, this is what usually works best for her. But you might be asking yourself, why? Well, one word, reshares. Even the CEO of Instagram literally just said that this is by far the most important metric for reach.
But one of the most important things to look at is definitely the sends. Sends, I would look at sends per reach. So of the people who saw it, how many of them sent it to a friend?
See, over the last couple of years, it's no secret that mental health has become more normalized and even a bit of a trend. It's become normal for people to take mental health days off of work. We've even seen athletes talking about mental health, personal development, and self-love. Now, that's great for us as a society, but these clips and posts have gone mega viral for two reasons. One, everyone in the world has mental health and self-love, so all 2.4 billion Instagram users can relate to these posts. And two, this is a topic that people generally feel needs more exposure, which, as you can guess, ding ding ding, makes people want to reshare these posts. So the owner of this account found a way that she can help spread positive mental health messages, and she can make a pretty sweet profit off of this trend with her clothing line. Remember, she just went on Shark Tank and said that she's made over $3 million in revenue in less than 1 year. And she literally started with just $500. And I'll be showing you how to set up a clothing line and a product side of things later in this video. But first, you need to understand how to make these posts go viral. And trust me guys, it is so simple. So first, you'll want to come up with a cool name for your account. Hers is See the Way I See, but personally, I think we could make something better. You're going to want to validate that the handle you choose isn't already being used because most Instagram handles have been taken at this point. So you can just come to this website where you can check really easily to verify if something's open or not. For example, if we tried self-love, yeah, obviously that's already going to be taken. But if we tried something like self-loveology, we can see that the handle hasn't been taken yet. Next, we're definitely going to need to get really clear on our aesthetic for this one, because you're basically going to be selling clothes through this page. So it's kind of a fashion brand, and you need to make sure that this is really aesthetically pleasing for the viewer. See the Way I See does a great job of using these kinds of tones, and it's really built around her brand. But don't worry, if you're new to branding, I still got you. What do you notice about some of these luxury brands? They all use minimalism, right? Because that's one of the keys to building a successful luxury brand. These logos are all simple, and they usually just use black and white to be super minimalist. Well, that might be great for luxury brands, but if we're building a self-love company, then we need a totally different look. So let's go and look through a couple of these successful mental health clothing lines, and I'm noticing a lot of bubbly fonts and these pastel color palettes. This all makes sense because these kinds of fonts and colors are associated with feelings and children. So I'm gonna go ahead and ask ChatGPT to choose a font that feels kind of warm and childish, and then we're gonna choose a color palette that feels the same way. Great, so this is what it came up with. I like these. I think that these are gonna fit perfectly. Our next step is to come up with some posts that actually trigger the algorithm so that we can get reach on our account. I went ahead and tested this for you guys with some posts in this actual space. Here's a post that I created a few years ago in this niche, and it got over 45,000 likes and thousands of saves and shares. And I'll show you how I made it. To do this, I just searched some self-love quotes on Google and then basically rewrote it and transformed it into this. So now you can do the same thing with your new fonts and color schemes. So for this one, we can rewrite it to this so it's not a direct copy, and then change the colors, and boom. We basically want to keep doing this with multiple posts so we really start establishing our brand on Instagram like See the Way I See does. As the creator, your job is to continue to find viral quotes related to self-love and self-development, and then come back into Canva and make them into cute posts. But here's where things get interesting, and this is how you're going to start turning these posts into actual dollar signs. I'm going to show you how to make clothing, and guys, I'm actually going to be putting this to the test on one of my own Instagram accounts, and I'll be sharing all the results that I get in about a month or so make sure you're subscribed to see that. So now we need to create the clothing line, and we need to launch it the right way. I see a lot of people do this the wrong way, so we got to make sure we're doing this the right way. To do this, we'll come over to a website called Gelato. They're a print-on-demand site that you can start using literally for free. In case you don't know what print-on-demand is, basically, you don't have to pay for them to make any of the products. In the old way of having a clothing business, you'd need to order in bulk all of your inventory. And then, when a customer purchases a shirt, you'd sell them one of your items. But the problem with that model is that it's really expensive for a brand new business to go and order like 1,000 shirts without any sales. You'd also need to store all the inventory somewhere, like in your house or in a warehouse, and then you'd have to actually ship it out to them whenever someone purchases them. But Gelato makes that process 10 times easier. Instead, with Gelato, you don't pay for anything up front. So when a customer makes a purchase from your website, Gelato's team will create the product and they'll ship it to them for a set fee. That's why it's called print on demand, because they print or embroider the clothes only when someone actually makes a purchase. So once you get into your account, you're gonna see this dashboard where we can start creating our clothing that we're gonna sell. And guys, just wait till you see the hoodies that we can actually make in here. I actually ordered some and I'll be showing it in a future video so you can see what it looks like. But the first thing that we're gonna do is come over to our product catalog. From here, you can choose t-shirts, hoodies, hats, phone cases, almost anything that you can imagine branding, you can find it on here. It's cool. For this example, I'm gonna select hoodies. And then you basically have to choose which hoodie that you wanna select, and all of these come from different suppliers. So I would recommend that you choose one that has good reviews and the colors that you wanna use. Since our page has pastel colors, I think that this is gonna be a good one since they're kind of our color scheme already. Next, we choose our color, and I'm gonna select light pink here, and then we can see which sizes they offer, and then you can just click Start Designing. And then once we're in here, we need to actually add our design. To do that, you're just gonna come back over to Canva and create a design that works. So I'm gonna create this. It says your anxiety is lying to you. And then you're just gonna come up here and you're gonna click download and make sure that you select transparent background, because we don't actually want this background to be there. We just want this to come up. So click download. Then you're just gonna go ahead and drag over the download that you had, and it's gonna populate here. And then if you wanted to, you could actually design on the back as well. Once you're happy with this, you're just gonna come up here and click Save as Template. And I'm just gonna name this Anxiety. Remember, you can get started with Gelato for free, and I dropped a link below for you to sign up and get 50% off your first order. Great, so now we've created our first product, but now we need to actually put that onto a store where people can purchase it from. So to do that, you're gonna come down here to Stores and click Stores. I've actually already integrated this, but you're gonna wanna come down here. For the sake of this, I'm gonna do it via Shopify. So to do that, you're just gonna come click this. You're gonna wanna install this, make sure that your Shopify account is linked to your Gelato account. And then that way you can basically just immediately go ahead and add products. And then select Use a Template. Now here we have our anxiety template. So I'm just gonna go ahead and select this. And then again, we can mess around with the editing. We're gonna wanna make sure that all the sizes that we want are checked off. And then we're gonna click Continue to Mockups. So here are the mockups that Gelato created, and this is cool. They come up with like our normal shirt, We can see what that looks like, and then we can also see what it would look like on a model. We can go ahead and select all the mockups that we want. Maybe they want to see the sleeves, maybe they want to see the side profile, the back view, and then we're just going to go ahead and click continue to details. Here's where you're gonna be able to edit the name of your hoodie. So I'm gonna say anxiety hoodie. Gelato gives us a brief description of what the hoodie is already composed of and everything, but you can add more if you want to down here. This little category shows us the product costs, meaning how much it costs to produce the product, and then adding in the shipping costs. So in total, this is gonna be your estimated profit based on the amount that you charge. So what I like to do is price hoodies quite expensively. So let's just say a $50 hoodie or a $49 hoodie. So now you can see the estimated profit that you're gonna make on each of these pieces. So $26 seems to be about the profit. If they do make a bigger hoodie, it does reduce our profit size because they're using more material, obviously. And then click publish. And then look, you can come over to Shopify because you've created a Shopify account already. And you can come right into your new store. I've already added this custom theme, but you can actually add whatever theme you want. I just clicked Spotlight because it looked like a good one for an online store. And you'll just come in, you can click Customize and or Preview, and come on down and see that our product automatically got added. Now, obviously, we're gonna wanna make sure that all of our branding here matches the branding of our account, so that people feel like it's consistent, they're in the right place. Essentially, you've just created an entire clothing brand digitally for free where you can start collecting profits immediately. Great, so now that we have our products ready to go, we're gonna start promoting them on Instagram, but not so fast. Again, this is where I see a lot of creators really mess up. They think that if they just put up a post like this announcing their new merch that people are gonna come rolling in and buy. But that is just not the case, unfortunately. Instead, you need to use the strategy that See the Way I See is using. She uses a launch or a drop strategy. And guys, many of the biggest merch companies out there are using this strategy for a reason. It works. So to do this, you'll want to come over and choose a date to start teasing your products for that launch. By having a specific date and even a limited number of stock or unit, you're creating what we call urgency in sales. It makes people feel like they're going to miss out on something because there's a deadline. I'm sure you know what FOMO is, fear of missing out, and it is one of the most powerful strategies that you can use in your sales techniques. In fact, in general, if you do want more sales on anything, stop saying buy now and instead say complete order. Don't say limited stock, instead say only 5 units left. Stop describing your product as good and instead call it premium. And instead of saying frequently bought together, say 97% of customers also bought this. I've seen a massive uptick in sales from using these super subtle pricing strategies, and you will too if you start using them in your marketing. By the way, guys, soon I'll be launching something massive that I've been building over the last year for digital entrepreneurs who are looking to grow and make money on social media. The results have been absolutely insane for the beta test group, and I'm super excited to share it with all of you. So if you want to be the first to hear about it, then make sure you're signed up for my newsletter below, because this is going to break the internet for people who use it. So the final step in this process is for you to stay consistent. Remember, this girl started from just $500 and turned it into $3 million in revenue in less than a year. But that did not happen from one drop. Like I said, I'm going to be starting this on one of my own Instagram accounts so you can see the actual progress in a month or so, but I don't expect to get rich overnight from this. I see so many internet entrepreneurs start really hot and get super excited, but then after a couple weeks, they give up because they just don't see that momentum and make $100 million overnight. We live in this world where we're so used to the immediate gratification, but in reality, in business, things take time. So with that, if you do the marketing decently well, the product decently well, and you just post every day for the next year, you are going to be light years ahead of 99% of the wantrepreneurs who don't have the patience. Look, guys, I'm excited to see where the top 1% of you take this, and I will see you on the other side.